Welcome to Crack Pack. My name is Andrew. Today we're cracking open Strixhaven School of Mages. Let's get cracking. Our first card today is Novice Dissector, followed by Vortex Runner, Reckless Amplimancer, Illustrious Historian, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, Ogiar Battleseer, Biblioplex Assistant, Guiding Voice, Owlin Shield Mage, Introduction to Annihilation, Necrotic Fumes, Quintorius Field Historian, Snow Day, Retriever Phoenix, Stone Rain is our Mystical Archives. Then we have an Areno promo card to round out the pack. So again, Stone Rain is our Mystical Archives, which for 2 and a red is a sorcery that says destroy target land. Now I know my playgroup would not like this. We tend to avoid land destruction. I think a lot of playgroups do. It kind of feels bad when you're just saying, hey, the one thing you need to be able to play the game you can't use now. So we normally have it's not an unwritten rule, unspoken rule of, hey, we don't do land destruction, but it's a, hey, we're not in the mood for land destruction, or it's a, hey, tonight, no holds barred, we'll play land destruction, we'll play whatever. So for me, this isn't necessarily something I would be using on a weekly basis or a every game basis. But it is something that I would put in a Spellslinger deck where I'm trying to burn my opponents down quickly, keep tempo. Since this is for 2 and a red, that's something you can do on turn 3 to slow down your opponent. Effectively putting them at turn 2 again instead of turn 3. And turn 3 can be huge for most decks. Unless you're, mono green ramp. Turn 3 is normally when you're able to start getting the big impactful spells out. So if you're getting this on turn 3 and setting someone back to turn 2 instead, essentially, you have a huge advantage. Again, this doesn't really work well against mono green ramp or, just a big ramp deck where they have 7 or 8 lands out on turn 3. But for most other decks, this is going to be great to slow them down, if your playgroup is okay with it. Next we have Retriever Phoenix, which for 3 and a red is a 2/2 creature with flying and haste that says, whenever Retriever Phoenix enters the battlefield, if you cast it, learn. And learning is you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card to draw a card. As well as long as Retriever Phoenix is in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead return Retriever Phoenix to the battlefield. So it's got a little bit of a recursion, and it's also got learning, which was a new keyword for Strixhaven, which basically lets you have a card come in from outside of the game that is marked as lesson or lets you loot. And then in the case of Retriever Phoenix, if you would learn, you can instead recurse the Retriever Phoenix instead, which I kind of like. That's something different for learning in Strixhaven, because it's a Phoenix, so of course it's going to rise up again, and that's a theme throughout Magic for Phoenix, having ways to get them to come back. So this was a interesting way to make that happen, and it certainly can help you keep tempo since this has flying and haste. You get a learn trigger, bring it back, and keep going with it. It's a 2/2 flyer, and you're able to attack with it as soon as it comes back to the battlefield since it has haste. So why not? Now, would I build a deck focused entirely around it? No. But it's definitely a good support in any red deck from the Strixhaven era, essentially. There are definitely going to be better phoenixes that you can be recursing from older sets, probably some from newer sets now too. But if you're limited to Strixhaven for some reason, or you don't have access to that older stuff, this is certainly a good Phoenix to be using, as long as you have other learn triggers as well. If you only have a playset of Retriever Phoenixes for your learn triggers, it's not that great, because you only get the learn trigger when you cast it. So it returning to the battlefield from your graveyard would not get that learn trigger. You're not able to infinitely retrieve phoenixes over and over and over again. So you need more learn triggers from other cards. So that's why I say, like, if you're focusing on Strixhaven cards and you have learn triggers, this is a good addition. But if you have access to more, like if you have phoenixes from, I don't even know, like pre-War of the Spark, those are going to be better than Retriever Phoenix. But if you have Strixhaven and you're wanting to use those learn triggers, this is a good addition. Next we have Snow Day, Quintorius Field Historian, Necrotic Fumes, Introduction to Annihilation, Owlin Shield Mage, Guiding Voice, Biblioplex Assistant, Ogiar Battleseer, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, Illustrious Historian, Reckless Amplimancer, Vortex Runner, and Novice Dissector. So that's all for today. Thank you for cracking along with me. Be sure to check back tomorrow as we crack open another pack.